Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wayne Game and Sunny Mount Twitter the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you into the Let's Play episode of Conway, Julian's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Which one were we on? Yeah, okay, alright. I am very curious to see what happens if James wins. So, let's see what happens when James wins, shall we? Do you join the bet? Yes. Alright. Yeah, okay, so... Alright, so I get 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Let's do it. Damn it! Alright, we're gonna do this again, y'all. Let's do it. Okay. Yes. They land on... 10. Fuck you. They land on... Do you join the bet? Yes. 2, 3, and 4. God, such a small group. They land on 3! Lucky you! With a jubilant smile, you lean back, hands behind your head as you bask in the moment. Alright? Saving right there. Did I do... Yeah, I already did the other one. Okay. Alright. With a jubilant smile, you lean back, hands behind your head as you bask in the moment. What was that again? Good try, though, Jules, but perhaps you should switch up your lucky number. He waves you off dejectedly and lets his head drop. Yeah, just rub it in. You got lucky once, don't think too highly of it. However, a deal is a deal. He turns to the side, grabbing his dice as he looks over at you. So, you got anything in mind for us? Hit us with your best shots. Or your worst. You sit back and think. You hadn't really considered what to do if you won until now. A few possibilities rush into your mind. I like how Wolf just seemingly, you know, unperturbed by the fact that James won, but he's mortified when Julian wins. It's so funny. What do you want to ask of Julian? Oh! Is it true what they say about lizards below the waist? I'm gonna do these all. I want to hear something stupid or embarrassing that happened to you. Julian, you seem like the guy that's been involved in a lot of stupid or funny things, or both. Tell us one. I'm not sure if that's a compliment, but I'll take it as one. Though, funny or stupid? Or both? Mostly stupid, I think. Julian quiets down, thinking. The lizard then perks back up, looking between you and Wolf with a smile. I think I've picked something sufficiently entertaining or highbrow for you two gentlemen. You laugh a little while Wolf just scoffs. Yep, just a regular few gentlemen around the table, all of us as high class as can be. Julian nods along, then crosses his arms theatrically, suddenly looking serious and deep in thought. I'll bring you back to 4 years ago, an incredible caper. A plan that was in the works for weeks, the culmination of diligent, long hours of work. Wolf groans. Get on with it, stop grandstanding and we'll be here till dinner. It's my story, Wolf, I get to tell it how I tell it. Anyway, where was I? Yes! We had planned it all, and it worked swimmingly. Me and a gaggle of the other officers' kids sneaked to designated locations under a trickle of light from the half-moon, and took important things from each. He counts on his fingers as he lists them. Coffee time? Grog, tobacco and a pipe, oil, food of course, a few instruments, and lastly, a musket with shot and powder. You glance at Wolf, who is looking at the lizard incredulously. Drunk kids and a gun. Great combination. I know, right? Wolf rolls his eyes. Anyway, what was this all for, Jules? A party, of course. Our party. Living in the military is stifling. Even when you're not in it, if you're around it, you're expected to hold up to certain standards. He sounds bitter. Then he realizes he's getting a bit too serious, so he straightens out and brightens up. That's why we wanted to do something on our own terms. Something fun and just for us. We figured we could get in a little bit of trouble for taking stuff, but it would be worth it. We would have control for that night. No discipline or anything. You listen in. Wolf is too, despite not looking at Julian. The canine's eyes are focused outside, but his ears twitch as the lizard speaks. It sounds like a much-needed break for all of you. Can't imagine what growing up under that is like. Well, it produced the man you see in front of you, so it can't have been all terrible. He laughs. Anyway, where was I? In gathering, everything went fine, as we all knew the place well. We snuck off a good distance away, struggled to set a fire for what felt like an hour, and then we started having fun. Unsurprisingly, it took us a very little effort to get drunk. Just one tot of grog and most of us swaying around, barely able to stand. We were laughing, struggling to light pipes or play music. With fire in my belly, I declared I wanted to try firing the musket. Did you even know how? Of course not, but I had seen plenty of drilling, so I thought I could, figure it out. Maybe I could have if I was sober. He then begins to mime his actions as he describes them. I was leaning on the musket because I could barely stand. I poured in some powder from a horn, then took a minute to get the ramrod into the barrel. I've never missed a hole so many times in my life. I then try to shoulder it, trip a little, and then aim at a little sapling, and BAM! He spreads out his hands, then shakes his right hand vigorously. I way overfilled it with powder. Some had spilled out onto my hand and caught the spark as well. Damn thing kicks me to the ground and nearly bursts, and my hand and arm get burned. I'm sprawled out there, yelling. Everyone is laughing, and the sapling is still there, mocking me. You tilt your head, concerned. Were you alright? That doesn't sound pleasant. He's lucky to be alive, the idiot. Could have exploded in his face. Julian stares at his hand. It seems fine now, at least. After a moment, he looks up at you with a smile. Oh, it was just a burn. Wolf is right for once, though. It could have popped. What happened next? Well, something we stupidly didn't think about. Think about it this way. You're a soldier in a fort. It's the middle of the night. You hear a shot in the distance. They'd go investigate. Yeah. He sits back down, but this time on the table, leaning his head on the rope. Wolf gives him an annoyed look as the lizard swings closer, tail brushing against the canine. We didn't think of that because we were dumb kids, and I didn't think my dad would be the one to lead some men out to check it out. The damn workaholic. So he finds all of us. He finds me sprawled out in the dirt, crying because my hand was burned. One of the other kids must have told him what happened. I just remember being hauled up to my feet by him grabbing my shirt. By now, his showman's flair has died out. Julian flatly recounts the events, looking off in the distance as he rests his head against the rope holding the table up. He figures that I'm the one of the ringleaders that inspired everyone there to disobedience. I wasn't really coherent enough to argue with him, still drunk and a bit of shock from everything that's happening. And then he grabs a gun from one of the men he rode out with, says he'll show me how to use it, and that I need to know how when I join up, and that I need to be disciplined. So he grabbed me and walks me through it, forces me to do it despite the burn on my fingers and hand. It took a while. Julian then realizes just how dreary he sounds as both you and Wolf just stare out at him. He tries to laugh it off, smiling wide. Well, it was stupid kid stuff. I got drunk and fell on my ass and got in trouble for it all. Embarrassing. He laughs again. It's a nervous chuckle. I'm sorry that happened to you, Julian. That sounds awful. Wolf looks unsure, but he does speak up after a moment. Yeah, that sounds like it was bad. Julian's smile falters, but then he stands up, returning to the bench next to you. Oh, it's no big deal. I'm sorry to the both of you. I could have chosen a better story. That one wasn't as fun as I remembered. Yeah, it wasn't. Are you alright? Who? Me? Of course. He points at himself with both thumbs and tugs on the plackets of his shirt. He beams, but is still a little embarrassed. Anyway, there's still Wolf, right? If you're sure you're okay. Wolf looks deep in thought, staring at Julian. His look is less hostile than usual. Maybe he feels bad for the lizard. Wolf furrows his brow and shakes his head. He suddenly turns to you. What do you have for me? You scratch your chin. Alright, so I'm gonna go back. Then, yeah. Yeah. Alright. Julian, what would you have wanted Wolf to do if you had won? Alright. You're a bit indecisive today. You look at Julian, then Wolf, unsure. Eventually, you just turn to the lizard. Hey, Jules, if you won, what would you want from Wolf? Julian immediately looks excited, giving Wolf a devious little look. The canine looks much less enthused, glaring at you. You can't be serious. Sorry, Wolf, couldn't think of anything. Wolf looks like he wants to argue with that, to yell at you to pick anything else. But he just sighs, sitting back and looking annoyed. Oh, come on, Wolf, don't you trust me? I've been nothing but reasonable and even-handed with you. No, without the cat's help, you would have never touched that fife. Then I know how to pick my friends, and that says a lot about me. Look, my request is simple. Julian then leans over the table, looking positively fiendish. Wolf, say something you like about me. Silence reigns. You don't know if this is the real request or not, and judging by how Wolf scrutinizes Julian, he doesn't either. Are you fucking with me, lizard? Said lizard was leaning back now, beaming. He shifted one leg over another, then put his hands in his lap, as if he was some dignified lady hearing out a suitor. Of course not. I am completely 100% serious. Wolf then turns to glare at you. This is your fault. You hold up your hands placatingly. Oh, come on, Wolf. Surely it's not that bad. You both turn back to Julian, who is beaming and looking at the two of you with bright eyes. He flutters them at you. Well, maybe so. Hey! You grin at him. Meanwhile, Wolf looks like he's still considering tossing Julian overboard rather than dealing with this. He does eventually just give a little grunt, straightening out from a slouch. Fine. You won. I keep my word. He then stares at Julian for a good little while, as if scrutinizing him to find a single thing to like about him. In response, Julian just keeps sitting pretty. And the best he can with the swing of the ship. Alright, so let me go back. Time to see what's below the waist. Julian, is it true what they say about lizards below the waist? Well, maybe I have something simple in mind. You turn to look Julian in the eye, giving him a toothy, suggestive grin. Hey, Jules, is it true what they say about lizard guys? The lizard looks confused until you slide closer and tap his hip. Oh, down there? Wolf groans at your flirtatious display, running his hands over his face. Julian smiles, placing his hand on your thigh. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. You'll have to show me. Point at exactly what you want to know about, Well... Before you can say anything further, you're interrupted by Wolf. Stop that. Seeing you two flirt is bad enough. I don't want to see you feel each other up. Oh, come on, Wolf. Gonna turn down a show? Or is it just that you want to join in, huh? No. Fuck off, lizard. Fine, fine. Jules? Julian turns back as you give him another suggestive little smile. Your hand presses against his stomach, sliding very tantalizingly low. You can demonstrate the answer to me later. You hear the lizard swallow and see him sit up just a bit straighter. You cherish your victory over him in that moment. Oh yes, that sounds very good to me. Enough! I don't want to know a goddamn thing about what the two of you get up to together. Let's get back to the game. What do you have for me, Cat? Ooh, so I'm getting that later. I didn't mean for that to sound so gay. Oh my god, I'm gonna save that one. That's great. Alright, you scratch at your chin. It's more difficult for you, Wolf. I just don't know you as much. I just don't know as much about you. It is an unfair advantage. You don't need to know anything about me to ask for a favor. It makes it easier to know that you're what you're okay with. Just don't ask for anything weird and you'll be fine. You sit back for a moment and think. First, you scrutinize Wolf, but when he gives you a look, you just stare at the table as you think instead. What do you want to ask of Wolf? Let's see. It's actually a good one. Okay. That one right there. Okay. I want to hear something stupid or embarrassing that happened to you. Okay. Well, you're so serious and unflappable, Wolf. Has anything stupid and silly happened to you? Beyond meeting you two? Of course. Well, let me think. He is silent for a while, folding his arms over his chest as he looks out to the sea. Eventually he shrugs, turning his head to you. Well, fell through a floor once. You look at him, expecting more. He just returns the stare. Is that it? He nods. How did it happen? He shrugs. Stepped on the floor and it broke. And you were okay after you fell? He nods again. Give it up, James. You wouldn't break under torture, that one. Nothing interesting to share. You huff, feeling a challenge now. Well, why choose this story, Wolf? What made you think it was worth telling me? Fell through a floor. You wanted silly? That's silly, isn't it? Inherently? A little, I guess. There you go. Was there anyone with you? Did they see you and laugh or something? Nope, was alone. Did you fall into something? Another floor. You just look at him, stymied. Well, that's all I got, I guess. Julian laughs at your misfortune, patting your shoulder reassuringly. Alright, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for what I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silver, and thank you going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 3 gold tier patrons, Toby, Zeke, and I believe Blue Alpha Wolf 69. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!